If the fight came to you, would your rifle help you stay hidden or stick out and make you an easier target? In a real-world scenario, visibility can mean vulnerability. So stick around as I transform my rifle into the ultimate modern protector tool using the most advanced technology known to man: rattle can spray paint and an Amazon stencil. Hi everyone, it's Jeremiah with Modern Protector. And whether you're painting your rifle for concealment, reducing light reflection, or just trying to give it a personalized touch, spray paint is one of the best ways to do this because it's easily applied, it's very cost effective, and if you don't like it or you mess it up, you can just repaint it. So before we dive into what I've got here on the table, I do want to ask, if you've ever painted your rifle in the past, what would you do differently now? And what environment do you operate in? Are you in the desert? Are you in the woodlands? And what type of camouflage works best for you? Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so here we are at my table, and we're going to be painting these AR-15s that I have. These are both Aero Precisions. I've got an Aero Precision Texas Edition lower with an 11.5-inch Aero Precision upper. This is actually an aftermarket barrel. This is a BCM barrel, and this one has been tuned to run with my YHM silencer, so it does have a YHM restricted gas block as well as a Silencer Co. ASR mount. This is a Aero Precision 16-inch upper, and this is a full factory Aero Precision. It does have the Aero Precision nickel boron bolt carrier group in it, as well as a Daniel Defense charging handle. And on this one, I am running a Landtac bolt carrier group, nickel boron bolt carrier group, and a Radian SD charging handle. I'm really a big fan of these SD charging handles. But not to get too deep into the rifles, I want to talk through what's necessary in order to do this paint job. So obviously you're going to need your paint. And the paints that I have here, these are the camouflage paints that you can pick them up at Lowe's, Home Depot, or even Walmart. So this is the Rust-Oleum brand. And the reason I have this one now, this is a different brand, I'll get to that in a second. But I've got Rust-Oleum Flat Khaki. I believe this is olive drab or olive green. It doesn't actually have a name on it. This is going to be your forest green, and then your forest brown, I think is what it's called. And the reason I have this one out is this is actually a Krylon, and on this can it says no runs, no drips, no errors. The last time I painted one of my rifles in a multicam color, this went all over the rifle as a base layer, and I got nothing but runs, drips, and a ton of errors. Best part about it is it's spray painting, so I didn't really care because it was going to get beat up, scratched up, and used anyway. Another thing that I like to use is just a pair of black latex gloves. You don't have to use black, but I like to not get my hands dirty when I'm using the paint. You're also going to need a roll of tape. Painter's tape works great. You don't need to go out and buy any expensive tape. And then you're also going to need a little razor blade. Now, I like these little skinny ones because of the fact that they're easier to get around small details. And I also would recommend, if you don't already have one, this is a Wheeler Space Saver. I bought this at Academy for about $18, and this is absolutely wonderful. It's a screwdriver set, has a ton of different screwdriver heads in there. No, Wheeler did not pay me to say that, and Academy did not give me anything free yet. I wish they would. But another thing I like to bring with me is just an extra spare magazine that I don't mind getting paint on. Now, most of my magazines, I don't mind getting paint on them, but I've got 4 or 5 of these old aluminum OK magazines, and with this Aero Precision lower, you can see it's the Texas lower. So this spot right there is actually gonna be a hole that goes all the way through the receiver. So when I pop that in there, now I won't get any paint inside the receiver. And you can see here that I have taped off my grip. I don't like getting any kind of gumminess on my grip. I will, when I do this paint job, I'll make sure that I can activate my safety so that I can paint both sides. I've also taped off my buffer tube because I don't like my stock to get really sticky as it moves in and out. That looks weird. I won't do that again. I've also taped off my Silencer Co. ASR muzzle brake or my flash hider because I don't want my suppressor to have any kind of issues going on and off. And you'll notice here that my Hollow Sun 403R has tape on the front and on the rear. And I've also taped the dial because I want to know what brightness setting I'm on. And I've also taped off just the little Hollow Sun 403R label on there. I do like to see which optic I'm running on there. Now, the great thing about doing spray paint painting is that you can personalize this rifle exactly the way you want it. That's going to match your environment. That's going to give you the best results for you. For me, I'm going to use a multicam. This is a stencil that I bought from Amazon. You can see I've used it before. It's got a bunch of paint on it and it already looks kind of multicam. That's pretty cool. But the last rifle that I painted with this, it came out pretty good, but to me it had a little bit too much of the OD green and the flat khaki on there. And I want to try something a little bit different with this one where I'm going to do actually I'm going to wipe them down and I'm going to leave some of the black on there. So I'll start with my flat khaki and start spraying it over the stencil with the black covering, the stencil covering the black. I don't know what that's going to turn out like, but the best part about it is it's spray paint. So if it doesn't turn out very good, I'll just redo it. Normally what I'll do is take the flat khaki and I will cover the entire rifle in flat khaki as a base layer. And then I lay down my stencil and I'll do the OD green, flip it over, do it again, give it, 5-7 minutes to dry. I'm not trying to let this thing dry with each layer overnight. I don't want this to turn into a 4 or 5 day paint job. This is a rattle can paint job and it's gonna get scratched up. It's gonna get used. It's gonna get beat up. So here in about 6 or 8 months, I'll probably need to redo it again anyway. So, and then I would lay the stencil down, maybe in a different position and go with the darker green and then flip it over, do it again, and then maybe lay it in a different position and then go with the brown. Now, what I did with the first one that I painted, I actually took this forest green color and from a little further back, I lightly dusted it with that forest green just to give it a little bit of a darker blended color. And it came out looking really nice. So I also have a microfiber towel here. I want to use this to start by wiping away any excess oil, grease, anything like that. Now I know a lot of people will say hit it with brake cleaner first, and I did that on my initial rifle that I painted. I'm not going to do that with this one because, again, like I said, this rifle is going to get used. I'm just going to give it a good quick wipe down, and then I'm going to get to the painting process. And I'm not going to be too worried about how perfect it is with, getting it completely clean. Now I do want to get some of that carbon buildup off of there. And I do want to get some carbon buildup off of the gas block area. Obviously that is an enclosed chamber that cycles all the way back. So I'm not real worried about having a little bit of carbon on the outside, but I took my rails off of these guns for a reason. So I'm going to paint the rails separately. And why am I going to do that? Because I actually want to try to give just one single coat layer to the barrel themselves. And I don't know what color I'm going to do with that yet. So again, I'm just having fun with it. I'm personalizing the rifle to myself and I'm rambling now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started painting this. And you can, well, I'll zoom the camera in here in a minute, but I've got all of my accessories that I didn't want painted have been taken off of this, right? Like, so I've taped up my lens on my flashlight. I've taped up the area where I want to keep that it says it's a stream light. I've taped up the area where it says that this is an Aero Precision rail, because I do kind of want to keep it a little bit customized. I mean, it's going to be a customized paint job. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started and you guys enjoy this process, I'll shoot some videos maybe along the way, and then some photos for you to see what it looks like. Make sure you stick around until you're really surprised with the way that this is gonna come out. I know, 4 colors, a crazy stencil, this thing's gonna come out really, really nice looking. All right, so we're finally prepped for paint. I got my cardboard laid out. I actually went ahead and put my rails back on because I decided that I wanted to just go ahead and do them all at the same time and not have to mess with trying to do the barrel different color than the rails. But I've got my stencil here, I've got my paint here, I've got my double cardboard on top of my table. Technically, you're supposed to be doing this in a well-ventilated area. Smells pretty ventilated to me. So what we're gonna do is, like I mentioned, we're gonna try to leave some of the black. So I'm gonna start with the flat khaki paint and lay the stencil over the rifle and just spray the flat khaki paint. We'll see how it comes out. If I don't like it, then I'm probably just gonna go ahead and go over the entire thing with the flat khaki and then just do them the way I did them before. But here we go, let's give it a try. Stay tuned until the end because you're gonna really love the way this turns out. And I wanna hear from you guys, what color are you painting your rifles? Maybe this spring, maybe this summer. If you're in a desert arid area, are you doing more of a tan? Or like me, maybe you're surrounded by a lot of greenery and multicam is actually a pretty good choice for you. Just let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear from you.
1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Oh, that's real good. To get a hold of yourself.
All right, well, there you have it. We're all done with the paint. I hope you guys enjoyed watching all of that. And I think that these rifles turned out absolutely phenomenal. I think that the paint looks really good on them. It's starting to dry, but I'm gonna let it dry overnight. The most important thing about this to me is, how do they function? How's it gonna look when I take them out in the woods and the rifle disappears? Or does it still stick out? And if it still sticks out because of some of the black pieces that I left black, I might paint over them, I might not. It's a personalized choice of how I wanted to leave it. And that's the biggest thing that I would tell you. If you're considering painting your rifle, personalize that thing. Get that rifle personalized to your style. Do you want it to be just OD green? Do you want it to be multicam? Do you want it to be just brown? Or how do you want it to look? I wouldn't recommend just brown. It's going to look like a pile of poop. But anyhow, what I want to hear from you guys is, was there anything that I missed that maybe I should have done? Or was there some unnecessary steps that I took that I didn't need to take in order for the result to be the same? Leave a comment. Let me know what your latest paint scheme was. Let me know what I could have done to make it a little bit better. Let's all learn together. Like this video, share this video with somebody who might need it, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel for more content. I've got something really exciting coming up. We're going to be doing a 4-part mini-series over the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be really, really eye-opening and very, very exciting. So thank you guys for watching. Take care, and God bless.